Today, I want to talk about how infidelity can lead you into getting into a fight with your own mind. Because what can happen is you are constantly thinking about the affair. You're thinking about the details. You're thinking about what happened. You're thinking about what you don't know. You're thinking about their excuses, their voices living in your head, your own voices fighting with it. And eventually, you just get so exhausted by it all that you start fighting the urge to think about it. So a thought pops into your head and you think, I need to stop thinking about this. Why am I still thinking about this? I'm not going to let this ruin another day. And strangely, the harder that you seem to try to think that you need to stop thinking, the more that it keeps occupying your mind. This is a very basic principle in self-development that's often described as what you resist tends to persist. One of the classic ways to demonstrate this principle is the idea that for the next 10 seconds, the only thing I want you to do is not think about a pink elephant. Well, you immediately have a problem. Because in order to know whether you're thinking about a pink elephant, part of your mind has to keep checking for the pink elephant. The same thing can happen after betrayal. You tell yourself, don't think about them together. But now part of your attention is focused on scanning for that image of them together. Don't think about what happened in that hotel. Don't think about the texts. Your mind has to reference the hotel or the texts to follow through on that instruction that you're giving it. I don't want to think about the affair partner today. Well, now the affair partner is on your mind. So the attempt to resist a thought or suppress it creates this kind of a rebound effect. It's like you're trying to push a volleyball or a basketball or something like that down when you're in the water. And I remember doing this as a kid. I would find it fun to see how long I could hold it underwater before it comes rushing back up. But it's a lot less fun when it's something that you don't want to be thinking about. And then there's another layer that's happening here, though, where you're training yourself to be afraid of these thoughts. You're teaching yourself these thoughts are dangerous, these thoughts are bad, these thoughts are impure, these thoughts are evil. Whatever you want to label it as, you're teaching yourself that it's bad. And you're teaching yourself that you can't handle those thoughts, or that if these memories pop up, then something must be wrong. So now you're not just dealing with the original painful memory, but you're also dealing with the constant mental energy of trying to not think about it, and you're dealing with the judgment that you have for yourself because you're thinking about it. So you have the thought, and there's this reaction in your body of, oh no, not again. So you try to make it disappear, but that trying to make it disappear just keeps it around longer, and then you become more frustrated, and it's just this horrible spiral. I think one of the goals isn't necessarily to completely stop thinking about it, but is to be able to think about something without your whole body and nervous system reacting like it's an emergency. And the effort to push it away is reinforcing the idea that it is an emergency. So imagine an intrusive thought pops up, and instead of wrestling with it, you simply notice it. There's that image again. You don't have to like it, you don't have to analyze it, you don't have to dig into a childhood memory that's associated with it. What if you just noticed there it is again? What if you started to get bored with it? What if you got so familiar with these thought patterns that they're boring, and even if they are there in the background a little bit, it doesn't have any inherent meaning? What if you get rid of some of the need to fix it all the time? Because that's another problem that people who've been betrayed often struggle with. They feel like there is something wrong with them. They feel like there is something broken. So they're always in fix-it mode. And they get into this fix-it mode with their own mind, with their own thoughts. What if you gave that up? There is a big difference between acceptance as a category that encompasses forgiveness and being okay with what happened, and acceptance of your own thoughts, and just accepting the fact that that thought is there. And then if you want, you can also get curious about why do these thoughts keep coming back? Usually there is something that your body is trying to communicate. Repeated thoughts function in a way that's very similar to pain. Your body's trying to communicate something. There is something left to be resolved or understood about this pain. And you don't have to solve it all at once, but you can begin being curious about why is this thought coming back up. So if you've been desperately trying to force yourself to stop thinking about the affair and the infidelity, and it doesn't seem to be getting anywhere, I don't think that the answer is to just try harder. That trying could be part of what's keeping this problem alive. And to really simplify this somewhat meandering topic, it's really two things that you can do. Number one is change your relationship to unwanted thoughts. Be less judgmental, be more accepting of your own mind, be kinder to yourself. And then two, when appropriate, get curious about what's actually going on for why that thought is repeating. These wounds, these triggers often hold subtle keys if we're willing and ready to look at them for the next part of our own psyche, of our own mind that needs healing, that needs attention, that needs care.